Okay, good. I've got the good microphone in now, so hopefully it's like I'm right inside of your ear. We're live streaming. All right, good. Hey, welcome everybody. This is the Meshery CI meeting, the Meshery build and release meeting for March 13th, Thursday, March 13th. I'm going to share the meeting minutes with you, I think, or some kind of a meeting, some kind of minutes. Here we are. A link to these is in the Zoom chat. If you, this is a smaller meeting size typically than what we have for the Meshery dev meeting that we just had yesterday. So in a lot of respects, that makes it, well, quite personal, which is good. So I'm not sure, there's about 15 of us on this call. Hopefully that means we'll get around to everybody and everybody can get their hands dirty and participate. And I'm hoping we might have a bit of training happening today on end-to-end testing in Meshery CTL. That's a large portion of the point of today's meeting. I do see that we have other agendas, so we'll see how long the agenda takes. Drop your name in here. All of you should be able to at least drop in a comment, if not change the doc entirely. And while that's happening, I will ask if anyone is on this call for the first time. And some of you are, right? We only have this call once every 2 weeks. Technically, it's not every 2 weeks. It's the second and fourth Thursday, or is that the second and fourth Thursday. So a little bit, we might want to just change it to like every 2 weeks, so it's a little easier to remember. But so with that, we have a tradition. If you're on the call, flip on your webcams. Even if your hair isn't combed, it doesn't matter. You're not here for how good you look, or how terrible you look. Either way, it doesn't matter. You are here to connect, though, and apparently be force-fed some terrible jokes. So video up, let's connect, let's talk. If you're going to engage, and from my part, if I'm going to spend time supporting you, let's get to know each other and let's get comfortable saying things like, I don't know. Guess what? I don't know. We're going to talk about a topic today that I don't know. We're going to talk about end-to-end testing in Meshery CTL, and I don't know it. We're going to talk about the framework that we're using called BATS. Guess what? I don't know. BATS. Doesn't matter. Some of you might know it. Most of you probably don't. Doesn't matter. We're going to learn it together. So get comfortable saying, I don't know. This is a different community than some of the rest that you've been in. This one, we intend to do great things together. So I'll ask for the third time to flip on your webcams if you have them. Unless there's a naked person behind you, just politely ask them to step out of frame. Or, they could stay in frame. It'd be a lot more fun if they stayed in frame. But yeah, so I want to start to make it really comfortable and slightly awkward for some of us. It's time to introduce. My name's Lee. I'm one of the maintainers, and I tell bad jokes. Who are you guys? So Aditya Raj, we've got you. You want to say a quick word?
Hi, my name is Aditya Raj, and I'm a first year computer science student. And
Okay,
currently, I'm exploring open source and contributing as much as I can.
beautiful. You've come to the right place. Radha Sharma, Miss Sharma, say a word.
Yeah, so hi everyone. This is Radha Sharma. Currently, I'm pursuing BTech CSE and in my fourth year of college right now. And I'm exploring open source here for the first time and would be happy to contribute and learn from the community.
Radha, great to have you. Very good. Thank you so much for the webcam too. It's very nice to see you. Thanks a bunch. It's nice. Ria, you weren't expecting me to call on you. Ria is not new, but it would be nice if everybody got a chance to meet Ria.
Yeah, hi everyone, and myself Ria. I'm in fourth year of college, and I've been contributing to Meshery for a month now, and yeah, that's about me.
Yeah, Ria's been kicking butt. She's been doing a lot. And I'm glad that she's on today's call. She's got more familiarity than I do with the topic we're going to discuss, but it's a brand new topic, bats. We'll get into it. Some others that are new, Prashana.
Yes. Should I introduce myself?
Oh, yeah, if you would.
Okay, so I'm Prashantha. I'm a second year engineering student in VGTI Mumbai.
Oh, nice. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Good. The thing is like today's topic, bats. Everybody here can participate. I'm sure of it. So, Mr. Thapello, do you want to say just a quick hi?
Yeah, hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hi. How you doing? Where are you calling in from?
From South Africa,
Oh, nice. All right.
in Cape Town.
Oh man,
Yes.
one of my more favorite accents. I just can't wait to hear more from you. Good.
Yes, I'm still trying to find my footing around the project. Yeah, I think in the next coming weeks, I'll maybe try to get something up and running.
Nice. We'll see if we can't make a dent on that today, potentially. Great.
Okay,
Good.
cool.
Good. Hey man, I have to admit, like I was saying earlier, that everyone here should be comfortable saying, I don't know, because when you're not, well, then you don't learn. And so I want to say this, hey, I don't know my South African geography as well as I know my northern, western, and eastern countries. Ooh, this is a super ignorant question. What you're on the continent Africa, and then educate me if you would. What country what city country are you in?
It's in Cape Town, so the southern part of South Africa. It's South Africa. Then Western Cape Town is.
Nice. Okay, I'm with you. All right, very good. Thanks. Hey, we're gonna make it through the introductions. And we're gonna keep pushing. So, Miss Omelade, Miss Omelade. I didn't slaughter it.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry,
How-
I had to jump off and join again because I had to start my Zoom.
No
So my
problem.
name is Omalade, and this is my first time here. I am a DevOps engineer. I'm looking to learn more about Meshery and contribute. So
Super. Wonderful. And now we've broken the ice. We've done the awkward hard bit of making everybody introduce themselves. So we're almost through. As a matter of fact, we might have to skip some of the old timers. So Ian has been here a little while. Oscar's been with us a bit. And but we've got Shiv Prasad, who's relatively new. Shiv Prasad, you want to say a word?
Hi, and hi everyone. I'm Shiv Prasad Rao, final year BTech computer science student at KIT University. So earlier I was means from the past 3 years I am into AI ML building building agents, RAG models. But this year I shifted to full stack development. Currently I am a front end engineer with Mernstar and slowly transitioning into backend development. I attended few meetings. Yesterday's meeting was everything was new for me, but I got to know that yes, there is a whole lot of opportunity for Golang. So yes, I am planning to learn Go. So yes, that's all.
Good. And hopefully you can make a positive impact on the project while you're learning as well. Wonderful. How many years did you say you've been working on agentic AI?
So Agentic AI, for particular agentic AI, I have been working for 1.5 years.
It's amazing. Okay, good. Thanks. That's all I want to know. I didn't know it was a thing a year and a half ago. That's awesome. So, all right, let's get into our agenda if we could. We've got one item that that Tamagna has been working on. This first one, GitHub. We do lots of so this is the CI meetings. We're going to talk a lot about GitHub workflows. That's our CI system largely. There's a lot of things that we do with GitHub workflows. There's a number of GitHub actions that the community has written custom for Meshery and GitHub. And largely we had been using Ubuntu 20. GitHub is deprecating use of that runner, of that operating system inside of the default hosted runner. We also use self-hosted runners here. The runner is the system, the temporary environment in which a workflow is run. And so we use both GitHub hosted runners and self-hosted runners. We probably won't talk about the self-hosted runners today. Anyway, Tamagna has been making sure that as GitHub shuts down and deprecates use of this version of their runner, and they move to 24. Tamagna, do you want to give a quick word on this? There's a lot of repos to cover. Did we get them all converted?
Yes. So we were working on this. It was like all of the Meshery repos currently they are using like any version that is above 20.04. So like currently this issue is not there. All of them are updated to like 22 or 24, but right now we are updating them from 22 to 24. That is what we are currently doing.
Nice. Okay. Just for clarity's sake, did you say that some of them we are upgrading just to 22, or were you saying?
No, we have upgraded, like first we were upgrading them from 20 to 24, but now like all of them are upgraded to that, like none of them are having 20.04. So right now it's only we are updating from 22 to 24.
Nice. Okay, very good. Between you and Mercy,
Yes.
you gals have made quite the mess of it in a good way. Um, I probably missed it. You probably just said it, but to your knowledge, do we have any outstanding work to be done?
Like some of them are converted, but like some of them are updated, but I think that we just need to update the remaining repos from 22 to 24. That's not currently like a issue, but we are doing it. So like all of them uniformly they will have 24 at the end.
Nice. Okay, very good. Good. So it sounds like we'll have this as an agenda item one more time. But before we even get back to this meeting, this will be done. Done. Nice. All right. I don't know that we have Lawrence on today's call. So by the way, we're moving off of this topic. Anybody have any questions, comments? Next topic is one on models. There's an outstanding, an open issue to support. Oh, look, made by your favorite maintainer, the bad joke guy. That's calling for support for this piece of cloud native infrastructure. There is a load balancer called LockCLB. That CNCF project, actually, it was one that I had reviewed as part of the CNCF, the work that I do within the technical advisory group. And this particular project, like many other cloud native projects, has their own operator with custom resources. And the way that the foundation of Meshery's models and Meshery's components are custom resources, custom resource definitions. So this is just a request to support like to support another one of these, Meshery supports this many models, about this many. Each, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying not to explain models. I have such a tendency to over-explain things. Anyway, go learn about models. I don't think that we have Lawrence. I don't think that there's traction on movement on here. Vivek, is this something that you've advanced or worked on? Do you know? LockCLB support.
No, so far, I just sent a reminder for Lawrence if he can join. But yeah, this is not something that I was working on, but yeah, potentially can take up.
I'm not urgent, just curious. So anyway, for any of you wanting to know how to add a new Meshery model or how Meshery models all that infrastructure that it manages, this is a super straightforward example of how to create a model. So next topic, expanding end-to-end test coverage in Meshery. All right. Is this one Ian's topic or is this a separate topic? Oh yeah, this is probably Ian's. Maybe relates to Ian's topic. Ian, if you're with us, do you want to maybe speak to this one and then let that bleed into your items as well?
Yeah, sure. So the first time I'm seeing this, I guess, but as far as our efforts on end-to-end testing goes, we're just trying to increase the coverage for Meshery itself. And I'm working more so on like the UI, which deals with Playwright. I'd have to digest this document a little bit to kind of speak to it a little bit more directly.
So yeah, I think actually you nailed it. These are just examples of Meshery functionality that don't have end-to-end test coverage in the using Playwright or Meshery UI end-to-end test coverage. And so I think this.
I'll use my I don't know card here. How does this relate to, because we also have a Google Sheet that is tracking this. Is this a one-to-one correlation to that for folks that I can share that in chat later? Or is this some distilled version of that?
Yeah, there's probably a well-intended, slightly disjointed duplication or sub duplication. This one we would do well to edit it and sort of describe that.
Okay.
There's a spreadsheet, and I suspect that this one was just being opened up in part to facilitate some of the upcoming internships that are going on. And
oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, I can kind of keep track of those and maybe link some things around. But yeah, so that's necessarily the effort. And I guess my two items are kind of just improving the setup for folks so it's not as painful. And then also increasing the visibility of the status of the tests, at least on the UI side. So that's my two PRs that I have. And the first one.
Yeah, do you want
Go
to?
ahead.
Do you want to share your screen, or do you want to go through those?
Yeah, so I'm not behind my keyboard right now. I'm in transit. So if someone could share the screen for me this time, that would be appreciated.
Sure.
Cool, thanks. So yeah, this one is specifically adding the test report that's generated from the Playwright run on master branch to be included into the doc site. So that will, on every push to master branch, it will take that test report that is an artifact, put that in the includes branch, and then there'll be a subsequent PR to then display that. I do have a call out as far as like the if condition. I'm a little new to GitHub Actions itself on if that suffices just on the pushes to master.
So Ian's highlighting this particular area. So actually, just to kind of repeat in part what Ian had just said, and that is that Meshery has a lot of functionality. We run as of now, we run two different types of end-to-end tests in Meshery. One type uses Meshery UI. Meshery UI is one of two clients of Meshery server. So we have Meshery server in the middle with a REST API and a GraphQL API, but Meshery UI as a client, we have tests that are written using Playwright as a framework. And Ian is helping ensure that as those tests are executed, and those tests are generally executed each and every time that someone opens a pull request that has any JavaScript changes or any changes to Meshery UI. As a matter of fact, those tests are probably run more than that. Like anytime that someone makes changes to Meshery server's Golang as well, that can certainly change the behavior of Meshery. So these end-to-end tests are run many, many times a day. And what he has undertaken here is up-leveling the visibility of those test results. Like, hey, if you're coming to Meshery and you'd like to know the stability of its functionality, where might you go to look at that? And Ian is pointing out that in Meshery docs, there are a few project pages, kind of reference pages, and they have a collection of test cases and test results. Right now, they don't so much have test cases and test results for these end-to-end tests for Meshery UI that are written in Playwright. So Ian is making it happen, and what he's like humbly highlighting is that he hasn't spent a decade writing these GitHub workflows. And so as he does that, he just wants to check in on the trigger criteria for when this workflow would run. Right now, so I'm putting tons of words in Ian's mouth, but it's just right now, he'll interrupt me and like, correct me. So this one is set to trigger to run and publish the results of end-to-end tests when when a different workflow, the workflow that actually runs the tests, when that one is completed, because then it would have test results sitting there waiting for a workflow like this one to come along, pick up those test results, publish them into Meshery docs. And logically, that sounds like I can't fathom a different way of doing it. Now I think part of the particulars might be that this particular language or this particular reference is slightly new to me, and this may very well work exactly as described. There are I'm going to learn something here as well. If we look at just another example of a workflow that Meshery runs. Here's the release workflow when we make a release of, one type of release of Meshery. The job that runs has many steps and maybe even multiple jobs. It's just like when you write code, it's good if you're able to you write code into functions and you can, in packages, and you can reuse those functions and packages. And so that Ian is separating out the concern of publishing the test results. He's got a dedicated workflow written for that because it's its own concern. And he's trying to identify when to trigger it. And he's got the right, logical flow set up. It's just that to help try to provide any amount of intellectual feedback, like this, it comes up as an example where it's commented out at the moment, but this is just a different workflow. Here's a step in the workflow. This step it needs for a different step to first complete. Okay, fine. So once, in the same workflow, like once this step is completed, then invoke a different workflow. And so, Ian, do you recall, is this similar to how you're invoking the workflow?
So yeah, when I was testing it, I just had a little private GitHub that I was pushing things up to and testing kind of this trigger here. So, I mean, essentially what this workflow run does, it waits for the completed from this other workflow. So there's no direct, like, I'm not linking this in like the example that you just showed.
Yeah.
GitHub actions are just triggering it on the completed status of the previous one if the name is specifically the name of the other workflow. That's what I garnished from the docs. And again, if anyone has any corrections to those assumptions, that'd be great. But that's what I could tell.
I mean, it sounded like, yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're up-leveling our approach a bit, because this approach that you're using is event-driven. And so in a lot of respects, it's like you're configuring something of a listener. Hey, here's a workflow. It'll do its job, sits here and waits for and listens for, this event to come from this other workflow without having to be explicitly directly linked and configured. Like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's the fingers crossed. Hopefully I read the docs as it intends. And that's why I'm calling it out, just to be like, hey, let's have someone who maybe has written a bunch of these take a peek at this, because I'm very much new to the GitHub action. So
if other people have comments, please jump in. As we look through the rest of this, we are dropping off the test results from those end-to-end tests into report here. I wonder if part of what is like ultimately of what are we tracking each pull request and the test results for each pull request, or is it more just, hey, of the very last time that an edge release?
Yeah, great question. So on like line 6, 15, 16, so I'm only trying to do it on pushes to master. So when you merge to master, I think the most valuable thing is to look at what master branch is doing versus everyone's PR. So I mean, both can be done, but I think as far as like having it on the docs page, I think that's what most people will land to and consider relevant versus each PR. So
Nice. Yeah. By the way, there's a special in Meshery as a project. You might know this already, but there's sort of a special name for that, and that is that's Meshery's edge release. Or every time that a pull request is merged to master, there is a new Docker. There's a new Meshery release made. There's a new Docker container built and pushed to Docker Hub, and it has the tag edge-latest. And so people can just like, and so yeah, so you're right, like that's extremely relevant. That's like it ties right into the prior approach to releases as well. So this is good. Merging this, even if this didn't behave quite like it was anticipated, I don't know why it wouldn't, but just if for some reason it didn't, there's no harm done here. We don't have an existing report. This isn't opening up the docs and deleting all the docs, or like this is just, dropping off some. And so is it true that just with each run of this, we're sort of rewriting the file itself with just the latest?
yeah, correct. It's
Okay.
just yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Anybody else have,
Yeah, I just had one thought, and that was all these test reports, would we want them to like be versioned, and would we want to save them over time? Or like, because every time this will be overwritten, the one Jekyll file that will be overwritten, but do we by any chance want them to be like, staying in the file system based on the every test that is run?
I'm gonna hop in just before Ian repeats himself, which is like, there is value in having at least a history that goes so far, maybe 20 PRs-ish. The reason being is if you go and look at the results of these tests, and you're seeing of the 30 tests that are run, these 2 are failing. One of your natural next questions is, okay, so what will, as of when and which pull request that was merged, might have caused this thing? Where do we go to track this down and fix it? If there's history, that could be really helpful because you could see, oh yeah, right there, it's been failing since here. Or fine, maybe there isn't history, but if what is tracked is when something initially started failing, that would also answer the question. So, food for thought, Ian.
Yeah, definitely. I think this report can be enhanced. I was just hoping to get kind of the base groundwork done and some visibility, and we can get some feedback there, and then we can make some really fine tweaks and include PR numbers and shuffle things around a little bit. But yeah, so this is just kind of the base, and hopefully we can make some improvements based on what we see useful as we continue to iterate on it.
Nice. Yeah, there's good. Just to give some forethought there. There's another example that Ian has probably seen, but is a healthy reminder for some of the rest of us. In the past, there has been lots, and there still is, lots of tests that are run for Meshery adapters. Meshery has about 10 different gRPC-based adapters, and each adapter has a number of tests that are run against it, and those adapters are in different repositories. As pull requests are made on them, tests are run, the results then from each of those are funneled back to Meshery docs and summarized in this high-level table saying, for each adapter, here's its current disposition. It's failing these tests or it's passing these tests. And, under a particular, it's kind of a compatibility matrix. So is this adapter compatible with this version of Kubernetes, etc.? And if you this is a high level summary. If you drill into any of these, it has a history of all of the tests that have been run. So this right here is a run of it's like a test run. Good. And this here was the ultimate disposition of the test run was at the high level a failure. If you click to drill into what happened inside of that run, it was like, well, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 tests that were run. This one failed, that one failed. And so this is just a good example of what potentially what some of the work that's being done here might build into or go into. There's also we were talking about Meshery's edge release earlier and stable releases. So Meshery has 2 different release channels. If you want the latest and greatest, maybe with some bugs, use this one. And it looks like the test cases or the test results as they're published, they were also tracked based on, to Ian's point, like what's most meaningful. And so they're separated here. So Ian, there's that's a mouthful in terms of like what's happening here. And so as you think on toward that later, looking at that other approach might really help, because the other approach it ends up just dropping new files, like 1 new file per test run. And then Jekyll is used to just help summarize it. Anyway, wow.
Yeah, I can take a peek at that.
Yeah. But and then there was this adjoining playwright reporter, and this is to help probably massage the test results and help them get, these 2 are adjoined and should probably be merged together. Is that right? Yeah.
So we can do the playwright reporter separately, and the other ones they don't necessarily have to go in because the test report is being loaded as an artifact right now. It just is not going to be included in the Jekyll until I make that PR. So there's kind of 3 PRs, and the last one that I haven't made needs to go in after these 2. But these 2 should be able to go separately.
Got you. Okay, got you.
But yeah, this essentially removes kind of the block level summary details. There's some difficulty in the Jekyll site parsing HTML like block elements of summary and details. So this is just kind of wiping those out versus creating 2 separate summaries, one for the docs page, one for the PR, just because the overhead of maintaining both those isn't probably worth our effort right now. So
Nice, that makes sense. Ian, man, all right, that's damn. Significant work. It's good. I don't so you've had some overlap with Jaren's, the prior contributor in this area, and I guess he's not here to ask for feedback of, but it makes a ton of sense to me not to just to update the format once so that it's compatible with the doc site checkouts. Heading into our next topic, is Sai with us today? I don't think so. Moving on to the next topic, there's some help wanted here. This is probably on end-to-end testing. Good. I'm going to let people digest this one separately and try to move on quickly to one of the other topics we were going to discuss, this end-to-end testing with Meshery CTL. We're almost there. Falgun is not with us today, but Tamaga. But this individual is. Do you want to speak to these 2?
Yeah, these 2 are just they're just 2 PRs that were recently created. The first one is in the assistant repo. Yeah, this one. It was just you making the make commands and like including some from the Meshery repo as well, and like I think it just needs to get reviewed. There was some problem with the naming scheme, and I have checked now. Like I've changed the name, so like it just needs to get reviewed once.
Cool. Okay. And then the other one, the auto
Yeah,
label.
yeah. This one, I think that this was suggested by you actually last week. So for the mesh sync repo, and like basically the Meshery repos, they don't, a lot of them, they don't have the PR auto labelers. So it's just that like this is the first repo that I have added this PR to, and like if this one gets merged, then I would make the similar configuration for the other repos as well.
Nice. Yeah, we do. Okay. Good. We have to be missing a couple of labels. There's more labels that are available in the Meshery repo. I got
Yes,
to
yes.
imagine.
Yeah, there are more than
Yeah, can you revisit that? There's like a Golang label and probably there's a
I
couple
have
of.
checked that, but I was not sure actually whether like all of the labels we need them here.
Nope, we don't. And it's evident. Yeah, we don't because we don't have some of those folders.
Yeah, yeah.
But of the folders that are the directories that are in here, yep, yeah, you need to go back and assess. Is there Golang in here? Yeah, or no? This is or maybe the good one for CI. You labeled this one with CI, great. This is
Yeah,
probably good for CI. Right? This is probably a good for Golang label. Yep, go back and revisit if you would. That's good though.
I will.
Okay, great. Hey, last topic of the day. Ria, I don't know if we're gonna do justice to this, but at least we'll get it introduced. Ria, do you want to kick us off and talk about the end-to-end testing with Meshery CTL?
Yeah, sure, I can. Just a second, I'll share my screen.
Okay.
So currently we do not, we are working on the on the contributing docs for this. So rather than a contributing doc, I have made this post so that so any contributor, if they want to jump into this particular area, they can just look at this post and contribute to the end-to-end tests. So here the first thing would be to running the test locally. So make sure that you have a verified account. So basically that means that on this particular link, Cloud Layer 5 IO, you have an account. So that's that prerequisite. And then we have some installations that you'll need for this. And then some Kubernetes, for some tests, we need Kubernetes clusters running. So you'll need some Kubernetes. You can go with Minikube to get started. It'll be easy. And then you should be running the Meshery server locally. So how do we run these tests? So make sure you go to Meshery CTL, or this particular directory, and there you would run this command, and the test would run. I can show you here. So first, if you see that I have my Minikube running, and then when I ran this particular command, it would take some time because Meshery would be deployed to your cluster. And so it would take some time. And then if you see the results, so here we can see some of these that are properly implemented would be shown that they have passed. Some of them which are still not in proper state would be shown that they are failing. And like see here, it is passing. So this is how you run the tests locally. Now, if we talk about writing your own tests, so we need tests for these particular commands. If you go to Meshery CTL, you go to internal CLI root. Here are all the commands. This is a command. For example, model is a command, and then we have the subcommands under it for which we need testing, end-to-end testing. And this is the folder structure that you need to follow for the end-to-end tests. And the framework, as we have mentioned, is BATS. So I can share this link. BATS is the framework that we are using. This is the folder structure that we need to follow. For a command, we would need three numeric numbers, and then we have the command. And for each test within that, so for example, we have design as a command, so we would have it like this. And then if we have to write a command if we have to write the test for a sub command, then we would use only two numbers. So all this is needed because when we run the tests, it looks through the folder structure and runs each of them separately. And now, how do you think of the test scenarios? So if we go to Meshery test plan here, you'll find the actions. So in actions, you can see like we have Meshery systems restart, and we have expected outcomes. So from here, you can take this test scenarios. Also, you can add your own if you feel that they are not, if we are missing something. So here are the test scenarios that you can take from and start implementing them. So we are looking for contributors in this particular area. And yeah, that's it. Any questions or any feedback?
Vivek, does that make sense to you? Do you think you could write a BATS test based on this? Oh, did we lose Vivek? Okay, let me pick on somebody else. Amit, do you think you could write a BATS test based on these instructions?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I can give a try at least. Yeah. I'm not sure I can write or not.
So okay, yeah, or you can't, or not based on these because these are halfway written, and that's okay. We're partially there. Ria, I wonder, are you in a position are we like able to successfully run the initial set of tests that have been written?
Yeah, those tests are running. Like the CLI is available, and we can check the version, the files config and auth. These are running, but the Meshery server one is not passing. here, and this is also passing the status one. Where did it go? Yeah, system status. So basically, we are able to deploy Meshery, so we can check that. But Meshery server, we are not able to. So there's a problem with the test. We'll need to write these properly. But yeah, some of the starting ones are passing. Okay, so here, if we go, these are complete. Like the setup and the tear down, these are running fine. There is problem with these, like this particular test and
Yeah.
these. So
Yeah. Perfect. If you don't mind, when you go in, so I assume that there are any number of us here, like all of us here are new to bats probably, and we kind of get the fact that like they're sequentially defined numerically, they're kind of grouped into folders. There's specific test cases that are in each, .bats file, and we're probably making an assertion of like what output to expect based on what command that was run. The JQ is being used here to help interpret and kind of parse the text. Great. Relatively straightforward. There's some interesting things in here, but sort of on a whole, it's kind of relatively straightforward. If the expected output isn't received, probably that test fails. And some of the particulars like I'm ignorant of, but of the setup suite.bash, like for those that go to, like, there's tons of test cases to write. We have a spreadsheet full of all of the Meshery CTL commands. If you take just the number of top level commands, the number of sub commands, like there's a lot of tests. And if you consider the permutations of just for a single command, maybe you're on Windows and running it there. Maybe you're on Linux, maybe you're on Mac. So for like the 70 or 100 something commands, subcommands, and flags that we have, ×3 for the different operating systems, ×3 for whether you've deployed Meshery on Docker or you've deployed Meshery in Kubernetes, or like it's impressively complex. And we're at the very beginning of defining the framework, or identifying a framework, BATS, to use for running these. And you're pointing out this test plan that has a fairly decently articulated list of one test case per row, that if someone on the call wanted to go grab that they're encouraged to grab it. They can make a comment in the spreadsheet. They can go create an open issue identifying this one. Great. And then as they go to work on it, they start to follow the instructions that you were just pointing out that are written. Part of that is, sure, being able to, some of the test cases only require that you have Meshery CTL, that binary available. Some of them require that you also have Meshery server available. Most of them do. Some of them require that you have Meshery server available and maybe that Meshery and a Kubernetes cluster, like a little mini cube or something. It doesn't have to be large, just that way Meshery can do its full thing. That way you can test the full functionality. But if someone were to want to write a test for like Meshery CTL system start, as you go to update these instructions and as the rest of you here go through the instructions and update them. By the way, there's a link in Zoom. It's like the third to last link that was shared. It is the start of the same post that Ria has. Ria, I wonder if you mind clicking on that and sharing with people. There's a super fresh document in Meshery docs. This one, it's so fresh, it lists the title twice. But this is basically a copy of what Ria is showing in the discussion forum. So not only are people encouraged to go make comments and ask questions in the discussion forum about this, but also understanding this contributor guide is only about halfway written. There's room for consolidation, like not repeating how to install BATS, because you can just go to the site and figure that out. but that you can, but also how do you write these? So it starts to talk about that just. And so if I wanted to go write one on to test the command at Meshery CTL version or something, part of what I need to do is after installing bats, after making sure that I've got a Meshery server available, I would go to that setup bats.bash. Is that setup suite.bash?
Yeah.
What is that? Is
We
that
can actually simply run this one, setup suite, setup. The run would set up everything and run the test and then tear down. So we can simply run this one.
okay? So that's not setting up bats on your system. That's just initializing a test run
Hmm.
and then executing the test, grabbing the results,
Yeah.
tearing down the test. Okay. That's the run tests.bash. Good. The setup suite.bash. What is, or is that, am I confusing that?
Yeah, setup is we are starting the server, we are installing Meshery CTL, starting the Meshery, and then deploying it on the Kubernetes cluster. So the starting of all the tests. Run test is basically we start the test, we run all these tests, and then we tear down. So run test is about that.
Oh, I see. Run test invokes the other two scripts, and
Yeah, 3 scripts. Yes.
if I could count, good. Yeah. Okay. So three scripts total, but run tests invokes the other two scripts.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Questions from others. I'm just kind of learning aloud and hogging all of the question time, but who else has questions? Or interest in working on this area? Ria is a pleasure to work with, by the way. So she barely bites, rarely. I can tell you from experience. Yeah, yeah. Omelette.
So I really don't know how this works, but I think I really like to work on it. If that's fine. And I would like to know if we'll be having like calls or how we'll be interacting, or if I can just reach out to you at any time.
Yeah, sure. If you have any doubts, you can definitely ping on Slack as well.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
By the way, it's very good just to speak up and say that. That's such an excellent thing because so often, folks like Rio will make sure to tag you as discussions happen on this topic. So that's wonderful. Is anybody else in particular interested in? So it looks like Ian is. So Ian promises to stub his toes on any of the rough edges. So that's very helpful. And by the way, like these test cases, they've been written and out there for a long time. We've used bats in Meshery previously. Bats was used on the console adapter. So if you go out there, I think the test cases are still out there, kind of how they were run, and there might be some learnings to take, because certainly that was for our project, but I'll find those and point them out on Ria's discussion on Ria's post. And so we've got Ian and is it Omelade or Omelade?
Omolade.
Oh my
But you
gosh.
can call me Molly. Molly. I don't know. It's probably
Okay.
easier to call me Molly.
Yeah. Did you say Molly or?
Yes, Molly.
Oh, okay. And if I want to risk,
Molade, Molly.
okay. If I want to risk mispronouncing again, say it one more time for me. It's Omelade.
Omolade.
Omelade.
Yes. Yes.
Right, perfect. Anybody else excited about this? Omalade and Ian and anybody else?
You can also add chapel on that list. Try
Nice.
to add it.
Very good. Yeah, it's not the pillow, it's top pillow. Just taking
Yes,
notes.
that is correct.
Oh, good. All right, very good. Any other shy people out there maybe thinking about it? You just need a little extra push? Always volunteer later. All right, good. We got. Wait, fool. Wait, fool. Good. Just trying to make sure that we get people tagged or like, try to help push people along. Well, we are just a couple of minutes over the hour. Did we miss anything? Is there anyone's name I didn't slaughter today? Because I can do it right now. Like Fiona, I could certainly give your last name a try. I can make it happen right now.
Yeah, go
Good.
ahead.
Oh no. Oh gosh. Okay. Marugi. Fiona Marugi.
Yeah, that's okay.
I see. So the enunciation or the emphasis is off. Like it's Marugu, I don't know, Marugi. I said the same thing. I'm dying here. What is it?
Morugi.
Marugi. Marugi. All right, forget it. It's
Yes.
Fiona. Good. All right. How
Yeah.
is there like a Sally or like a Molly in there somewhere that I could something easy just to I'm just kidding.
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, Fiona's like easy enough. Like, okay, good. I don't know why people don't have a problem with my first name. It's like I feel a little left out. Everybody just says Lee, and it's like, not special. I don't know so I don't know. Anyway, enough about me. It's wonderful to see all of you. We're gonna go do some CLI end-to-end testing. I'm gonna go bash some things. So, well, good. Well, we'll catch everybody back in Slack. I'll drop that link on Ria's post, and we'll keep pushing. We got a good start. So, okay. Hey, see you guys later.